Hey, Alan.
Hey, Dean, how you doing?
I'm fine. Tell people, welcome to episode 202.
Wow.
Tell people a little bit about you.
Alan Gonsenhauser, my company is Demand Revenue. I've been in marketing and general management many, many years. I've been a CMO 11 times, seven at full-time companies, and four interim roles since I started Demand
Mhm.
Revenue 4 years ago. Started in finance, so I get along very well with CFOs always. And what I do in my business, I mentor and coach CMOs. I've actually coached over 150 CMOs and marketing leaders. And I can come on as an interim CMO or a fractional, generally for private equity portfolio companies, or help CMOs and chief customer officers with projects they need to do. So that's what I do, and a little bit about me. I'm in the Boston area also, Central Mass.
Okay, so let's talk about a day one scenario, right? If you show up at a brand new client, brand new engagement, first time ever working with them, what's the dream scenario you're walking into? And what's the nightmare scenario you're walking into?
Well, dream is they want help. I haven't had a nightmare scenario yet. But first thing I try to get behind me is how am I going to get paid? So I get to know the accounts payable clerk and the CFO, and we set that even before I start. So
Or
every
hopefully.
month, or a quarter, I can contact them and figure that out. But really, the not only the first day, but the first month at least, I ask a lot of questions to
Mhm.
try to understand from the organization, from the C-suite, and from the marketing group what their successes are. What are they proud of? What have they done really well? And then, where are the gaps? If they had three wishes to change something, what would they be? And I try to get a mixed view from a cross section of people, the marketing folks, but also different functions on how they view marketing and what some of the business challenges are, so I can get a baseline for the company to, in essence, become them. Because even though it's an interim or fractional role in a role like that,
Mhm.
it's really important to understand the company, their products and services, what their strengths and weaknesses are, what their value proposition is to the market. Is it clear? And how I can be most helpful
Okay.
without coming in like I know the answers, or coming in on a ton of bricks. So I do a lot of listening,
All right.
probably the first month.
Faisal, hi.
Hi, Dean. How are you?
Good, thank you. Also, welcome to episode 202. Tell folks a little bit about you, and then let's talk about the dream versus nightmare scenario a fractional CMO could end up walking into.
Sure. My name is Faisal. I'm based in London. I've been a marketeer for over 25 years. Primarily, I work with consumer tech and digital SaaS businesses. I work with the CMO Syndicate, which is a group of uh, experienced CMOs across multiple industries globally to help customers solve their marketing problems. Dream scenario. Let me start with a nightmare scenario first.
I love it. The nightmare scenarios.
So even though the CEO has brought you in,
Mm-hmm.
people around you don't want you there.
Mm.
Either they're afraid of what you're going to say or do, what you're going to uncover. They're fearful of their jobs sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the conception is, wrong or right, they can create a difficult space for you. So that's the nightmare scenario. Another nightmare scenario is that you're brought in thinking you're going to work on, let's say, a rebrand, but you quickly realize that rebrand is the least of their worries. They need to do so much more work before the rebrand can even begin to happen, right? So those are the sort of nightmare scenarios that I've encountered. In terms of dream scenario, it's exactly the opposite, right? That they're actually prepared for that project that they brought you in for. They're
Right.
welcoming. They want you there because they know they can't do this without you. And so everyone is there to support you, and you instantly build that relationship with the C-suite as well as the other marketing folks there.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm going to stop us for just a moment. In fact, I think I've only ever stopped it once before in 200 episodes. There's a problem. There's two problems, actually. There's an echo somewhere, Actually, 1 second. So yeah, there was an echo somewhere. It's on Alan's side, it looks like. Let me just double check. Yeah. So there seemed to be, yeah, Alan, there's some kind of echo coming out of your feed.
I don't know. I
And
could
at the same time,
boot, but I don't know what.
yeah, you're both going to boot. And here's why. On Faisal, your audio is great, but you have a very pronounced flicker in your feed. And I don't know if it's just for this session or it's going to be in the permanent recording. And I don't want you to look back and say like, oh, look at every like 45 seconds, there's a massive flicker in my. So why don't you both drop out and come back in, and then we'll go back to the next question.
I think I'll reboot my Mac too. Just I don't know what the audio is. I'm using the same setup.
Sure. All right. See you then. Okay, let me look at your feed for a bit. I've seen the flicker stuff that people have sometimes on Zoom, but I've never seen it on Restream. I'm looking over here. Oh, it's back. That's weird.
That is weird. Let me see if I can.
All right.
When I disable and re-enable camera, yeah, I see that. I see the flicker.
Yeah. So it's an equipment issue on your side. Actually, that makes sense, because if it wasn't an equipment issue on your side, then the same behavior would be seen in Alan's video feed, and it's not.
Yeah. Let's see. If it still carries on? I've opened the blinds a little bit so there's more natural. There it is again. That's really odd. I've not seen that happen before. Video settings.
Yeah, me neither.
Video resolution. Let me go to standard definition or full high.
I don't know what you're.
Okay, let me try this. Let me try this. Let's try it. There we go.
Nope. There it was again.
Settings. Let me try to change it to this.
I heard a little bit of a hum, maybe. No.
So that seems to have fixed the problem, I think.
Yeah.
I've moved from full HD to 780 resolution.
720.
Yeah, whatever that is. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be fine. And Alan, I think the audio is cleared. I don't hear an echo anymore.
Oh, good. Okay. By the way, I did think of a nightmare scenario, but already recorded it. So.
Okay, so now we're gonna go into the next one, and Alan, it'll be your question. And like, by the way, this is all going to stay in the full recording, most likely, just because no one watches the full recording, but it won't show up in any of the clips. The AI is smart enough to know not to. Yeah, this is not worth. Oh, okay, so let's start in. So Alan, you're up next. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move forward like about 90 days from your first day there, okay, with a new client. And someone stops you in the hall, like CEO stops you in the hall, a board member, and says, hey, Alan, so like I was thinking about you last night, thinking about our situation. I understood the value prop, and so we allocated budget and spend to bring you in here. But I have to tell you, like, it's been about 3 months. I didn't like realize what we were.
You just froze. Sorry about that, Dean.
If I freeze, you don't move.
I didn't do anything. I think I lost connection.
Oh, okay. Then most likely I didn't freeze then. It was
so I think I froze. Yeah.
Okay.
Murphy's here with us.
200 episodes, today. This is by far the most technically problematic one I've ever had. Let's try again. So, Alan,
wait. I don't see you
walking
yet.
Down a hallway.
Wait. I don't see you yet. Hold on. I've got to get this back. You're not on Zoom. How do I get this back? I'm trying to get you back on my monitor here. Jeez.
Wait, you don't need to see me. You're in the video feed. We can see you fine.
Yeah, but I can't see myself or anybody.
Who
So
cares? We're not doing anything. Nobody's demonstrating anything. There are no hand signals, right? You're fine. You can treat it like an audio podcast and it'll be just fine. Just keep looking at the camera as if you can,
okay.
don't worry about it.
All right.
All that matters is what the audience gets, not what you or I have, okay?
I know. I can't see anything, but all right. I'm blind. Fine.
Here we go.
Okay.
So the CEO talks to you, you're 90 days in, okay, on your engagement. CEO says, yeah, I understood the value prop of bringing you in. Everything's been going fine. I got to tell you, though, I had an aha moment last night. I didn't really understand what a fractional CMO, or you in particular, were going to bring to this until last night when it finally occurred to me and I had my aha moment. What's the aha moment?
The aha moment is you see some changes in the organization.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe their value proposition wasn't clear, and that's now been clarified. And maybe the aha moment is, the CEO thought that marketing was just there to spend money, but it's not. It's there to crystallize the value proposition, who they're marketing to, their ideal customer profile, so they can be as productive as possible. And marketing is not only about new business acquisition of new logos, but it's about growing and expanding your customer base, creating a wonderful customer experience, and driving retention and financial impacts that are long term and in terms of short term. So I think part of it is maybe understanding what marketing is today versus what it used to be.
Mm.
And it's multidimensional. I think
Okay.
that could have been an aha moment after 90 days.
Yeah. And Faisal, how about you? What's the sort of the aha moment that the clients realize a few months in?
The aha moment that I've actually had, which was
Hmm.
actually quite fun, was two things happened. One is that another C-suite member, you know, realized that they needed to get out of there before I I revealed the stuff that had been going on behind the scenes. Because that was my duty as someone coming in as a fractional working with the CEO. And so we had one of the C-suite hightail out of there before I could do that, which was interesting. But the real aha moment was actually that, when we first pitched for a project, it was just me doing it. And I was brought on as a fractional working with this client. And, a couple of weeks in, I started to bring in one of my other colleagues from the syndicate. And they didn't realize that we actually worked ensemble, although we had sort of mentioned that during the pitching process. In fact, it's a value prop. But when they actually saw that there were two CMOs in action,
You mean from CMO Collective?
yeah,
Okay.
from the CMO syndicate,
Mm-hmm.
right? Two CMOs on a project, and they're not actually paying for the extra CMO. I think that was an aha moment for them that, wow, we actually have
Right.
multiple CMOs working on a problem. And so we're getting the best, and we're actually paying for a fractional. So that was the aha moment that was very rewarding, actually, when it hit home.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. So it turns out you're only going to spend the morning with this new client because you had a prior engagement. So you drive downtown because Faisal will stay with you for a moment. You drive downtown because you're going to there's a conference, and you're going to be among other things one of the speakers there. So you're on stage, you're talking to an audience about 250 people. Every one of them left corporate yesterday and became a fractional CMO today. Crazy people. And so I'm going to walk you through some thoughts for what you're saying to these folks, and you just finish the thought with whatever answer makes most sense. Take as long
Okay.
as you want. So number one is like, guys, I'll tell you what, as fractional CMO starting out, I think one of the things you're going to be most shocked by is what?
Just how much you get to learn in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
You want me to expand on that?
Please.
Um, you know, you're handling different problems and different cultures, and you've got 3 months, maybe 6 months to actually deliver on your commitment, and you don't
Hmm.
have a lot of time. So your bedding in period is very, very small.
Right.
And so you have to go in and you have to spend a lot of hours on the side, really catching up with whatever's going on. And so this part just accelerates your learning as well. And sometimes you're doing you're working with two or three different businesses, and so you're learning. It's like information overload, but
Right.
you've got to find a way to get through it. So that's what I meant with how fast you get to learn in a very short period of time.
Okay. And then further into your speech, you're talking to them and you're saying and something else that I want to pass along to you is that many of your clients just do not understand what.
The time that it takes to get things done right. So I often end up working much more than what I end up billing for, and that's because I care about the outcome. I care about the client. I care about my work, my reputation. So, you cannot explain that, why you need to spend more time on understanding your customers or, going deeper into the data, right? But you have to, because that's the right thing to do. I think some clients don't understand why some things take longer, and it requires more exploration, more analysis.
Okay. And Alan, let's talk about this. Let's put you up on a stage. I know that you give speeches and talk to groups. So,
Sometimes, yes.
so you're talking to this audience of new fractional CMOs, and once you have your little chuckle about how crazy they are for leaving corporate and going out
Yeah.
on their own, and you start talking to them and say, like, look, I know you're starting out. I've been doing this for quite a while now. Um, I'm over like 1,000+ days into it. Let me explain a few things. One of them is I think you're going to be surprised as a new fractional CMO by what?
First, how the knowledge you've built up over years and the problems you've seen again and again, solving the same kind of problems that you know so well, you could
Mm-hmm.
almost solve them in your sleep, is really valuable and can be monetized. Number one, and is fun to share your knowledge.
Yeah.
And number two, you can make a lot of money doing this. You can make a lot more money than you made in corporate, and people maybe don't realize that, but if you do it right, and you leverage your network, it's not that hard to make some money doing this, which is really a nice benefit.
Right. And then as you continue talking to them, you're giving them sort of the ins and outs of what to do, and you'll say, like, I'll tell you something else. What I found and what I think you're going to find is that most companies and most clients just do not understand what.
Most companies and clients don't understand what marketing is today and how holistic marketing really is. They think of marketing as leads or marketing qualified leads or sales support, where marketing is far more. It's, what's going on in the market, it's brand reputations, impact
Mm-hmm.
on being at bat, win loss ratios, and future pipeline. It's demand, both new business and upsell, cross sell. It's customer engagement, the customer experience and retention, and sales enablement, but and productivity. But what they often don't understand, if they have a unidimensional view of marketing as leads and just acquiring new logos,
Right.
is the retention and the growth aspects have far more long-term impacts on future financial results. um, and marketing influences all of that, and so kind of redefining what marketing is and driving cross-functional alignment, which is often poor in companies, are really important things to get involved in when you're approaching a company, because you know there's a wide variety of understanding of what marketing is based on past experience and prejudices in the C-suite.
And then as you're sort of leaving the stage, you sort of give them one lesson, and I'm going to make it harder for you. So you say, besides personal networking, the one lesson I would give you about getting clients is what?
Narrow down.
Mm.
Understand those problems you know how to solve, what size companies and industries you did it for. And if you're just working with startups, be prepared for a lot of price negotiations. If you can work with larger companies, they're more problem sensitive versus price sensitive.
Okay. Okay. So Faisal, you've left the stage now, and you're out on the conference room floor. You're talking to people at booths. You're having ad hoc meetings, and you've got some meetings like set up because you knew you were going to be there ahead of time. So you're talking to prospective clients, and as you're talking to these prospective clients, what do they tend to overrate and underrate about the CMO or fractional CMO role, or marketing for that matter? What do they underrate or overrate about marketing? You can answer either one.
It may vary from industry to industry,
Sure.
but in my experience, what is the most underrated or underweighted in terms of focus in any marketing is the customer experience bit. Experiential marketing is very underrated. Branding is as well, in many cases, underrated. What is overrated is performance marketing, right? Let's spend more, get more, spend more, get more, spend more, get more. And then there's a point at which that breaks. You cannot do more performance marketing than you're already doing. You've got competition that's driving up your keywords or
Mm-hmm.
your bid prices. And so where that then comes to a halt is you've not invested in the right customer experience. Your NPS score is really poor. Your repeat rates are low. Your customers aren't referring anyone. So those are where I think I've seen, in fact, where companies are under indexing is customer experience and brand.
All right. And overrating performance marketing or
Yeah.
digital marketing.
Yeah, it is important. Don't get me wrong, but I
Sure.
think that they really, really, they want to do way too much of that, and that's the sole focus of many e-commerce brands, which is painful to watch.
Right. And then, Alan, how about you? As you're talking to a prospective client, what do they tend to underrate and overrate?
Well, overrate, I would say also demand and customer acquisition and performance marketing is overrated, and a lot
Mm-hmm.
of companies have over rotated on that aspect. In terms of underrating, um, the customer experience, creating a remarkable customer experience that drives retention and advocates and new business from existing customers that recommend you. Also, brand reputation is really underrated, and people think of it. Oh, we don't have to make an investment. Your investment in brand today is your future pipeline, and it impacts your at bats and being on the list of vendors that are considered by the C-suite, by any member of the C-suite. There's been a lot of research to show that, and also your win-loss ratio. So if you don't
Mm-hmm.
invest in brand, all of those things which are short-term metrics are going to suffer, and that's often underrated in terms of marketing's impact on the customer experience and what you do, and not just focusing on NPS in terms of what the NPS rating is, what your number is, but what you do to continuously improve net promoter score by focusing on your detractors and fixing the issues they're telling you about, trying to drive your passives to be promoters, and understanding what the promoters are saying to put in your marketing in terms of your real advantages to the market. So a lot of that is needs to be further emphasized in terms of what marketing is today.
Mm-hmm. And then, as you're, Alan, as you're talking to prospects, and then I want to ask Faisal the same question. As you're talking to prospects, what's like one green flag and one a red flag that you keep an eye out for?
A green flag is they're looking to, and I assume we're still talking about fractional and interim work.
Mm-hmm.
A green flag is they're looking for someone who will come in and help a lot with a strategy and
Mm-hmm.
cross-functional strategy for growth, for attention. A red flag is they're looking at marketing as just a tactical function to, to create a website, to create different messaging, messaging emails, and things like that. Um, but it should be first strategy, and then execution can be done by the internal staff or other vendors. But if the need is just execution and not strategy, I don't engage in those kinds of opportunities because they won't be a fit for me.
And Faisal, how about you? What's a green flag and a red flag when you're talking to a prospective client?
Let's talk about the red flag first. You see a pattern there with me. Um, I think if a client is thinking marketing is this, limited focus performance
Mm-hmm.
marketing, and that's the end of for them, and insofar as marketing is concerned, that to me is a red flag. Um, if they think that the scope of marketing is either running fancy commercials or running performance marketing, that's a red flag. There is so much about marketing that businesses, companies, CEOs don't understand. It is from the point of where the customer first becomes a potential customer first becomes aware
Right.
of you as a brand, to the point where they're actually talking about you at the dinner table and everything in between. That includes fulfillment, it includes customer service, operations, a lot of things. Um, you know, so for me, that's a red flag if I see in conversations that they really actually have a very limited scope or vision of what marketing is. They need to be more peripheral for me. The green flag is actually when you're speaking to the potential client, you have a client who's very engaged, who's asking the right questions, who understands that maybe their knowledge of marketing is rather limited. And so that opens up the gates for you to then be able to make a bigger imprint and the right imprint on the organization.
No, that's good. Okay, so both of you now, you finished up. You finished your walking around. Your talk's done. You've had an eventful first day with a new client as well. So you're in the elevator. You're on your way to the car park, the parking garage, and you're the only two people on the elevator, and the only thing you know about each other is that you're each a fractional CMO. So Faisal, we'll start with you. So you turn to Alan and you say, "Hey, um, given that you're a fractional CMO, let me ask you this. What's the question?"
Alan, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Faisal?
I'm well. Given that you're a fractional CMO, and looking back, would you change anything in your journey to becoming a fractional CMO?
The only thing I would change is I probably would have started doing it sooner, because it's serendipity. It's been wonderful since I started. It's been 4 years now, and I've really enjoyed this. I have a lot more control of my time. The money's good. I have a lot of interesting assignments and work with some great people and companies, and that's the only thing I would change. I would have started sooner if I realized it was this great.
And Alan, how about you? You're looking at Faisal and you say, "Hey, while I got you here, let me ask you this."
Well, what are your most effective ways of getting new business?
Oh, I've learned a lot of new ways that I had no idea existed, to be honest with you. Um, since I've been doing this, I've realized I've become a salesperson.
Yes.
Yep.
So I spend about at least 50% of my time doing business development work, networking, speaking, um, presenting, meeting new people, going into places where without an agenda, but going in with an open mind, and networking more proactively. This is what I've done that helps me score new business. Of course, I go back to my existing network. I look for referrals. Everything that we advise our businesses, our CEOs that we're partnering with, our clients to do, I'm doing that for myself. That's how
That's great.
that would be most effective.
That's the best way. Yeah. Great
All
answer.
right. So, Faisal, we have to wrap up. Who I normally ask who should contact you these days, but instead I want to ask who's your ideal customer right now, and how does that person get in touch with you?
The ideal person, ideal customer is a CEO who wishes to grow their business 2x, 3x, 4x from 20, 30, 50, 60 million to 200, 300 million. That's my sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I operate. And if you're digital, that's icing on the cake for me. So that's my target customer.
Right. And what's the best way to get in touch with you? Is on LinkedIn.
CMOsyndicate.com.
Oh, okay. And then Alan, who's your ideal customer profile right now, and how should they get in touch with you?
I actually have two because I coach and mentor CMOs to become indispensable. So CMOs of different or marketing leaders of different size companies, but then also in terms of fractional and interim work, private equity investors and their CEOs. I kind of begin where Faisal drops off. So I work with companies generally over 100 million into the billions,
Mm-hmm.
either health tech, SaaS, or enterprise software type companies that generally are 100 million and over. I work with private equity investors to help their portfolio companies, but I also mentor and coach a wide variety of CMOs and marketing leaders. So really
All
those
right.
two. Thank
All
you
right,
for
guys.
asking.
Well,
And
guys,
to
this has been
get a hold of me, it's demandrevenue.com, just how it sounds.
okay. Well, guys, thanks so much for being here. This has been fantastic. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you,
Bye.
Dean.
Thank you.